A primary reinforcer is a stimulus that naturally satisfies a biological need or drives behaviour without the necessity for prior learning. These reinforcers are effective because they fulfill basic human or animal necessities, such as food, water, sleep, and warmth. Unlike secondary reinforcers, which gain their power through learned associations with primary reinforcers are inherently valuable and directly contribute to survival and well-being. Now let's look at some examples of primary reinforcers. A classic example is food, which provides essential nutrients and energy. For instance, if an animal successfully completes a task to receive food, the food acts as a primary reinforcer, motivating the animal to repeat the behaviour. Water is another primary reinforcer, critical for life. Additionally, shelter, which protects against harsh weather, is also a primary reinforcer, as it meets the fundamental need for safety and comfort. These examples illustrate how certain stimuli primarily influence behaviour based on biological imperatives. The importance of primary reinforcers cannot be overstated, as they are essential for survival. In both animals and humans, they play a significant role in shaping behaviours that are necessary for life, such as eating and drinking. In educational settings, for instance, teachers might use food as a primary reinforcer to encourage students to complete tasks. This strategy highlights how primary reinforcers can be powerful tools for motivation and behaviour modification, especially in learning environments or training situations where immediate feedback is necessary. Now let's examine the effects of primary reinforcers on behaviour. The presence of a primary reinforcer leads to immediate and instinctive responses, often reinforcing behaviours that are critical for survival. For example, when a child is given a snack, a primary reinforcer, for completing homework, they are likely to develop a positive association with the task and repeat it in the future. However, if primary reinforcers are overused, they can lose their effectiveness. This phenomenon, known as satiation, occurs when the individual becomes less responsive to the reinforcer after repeated exposure, which may require a careful balance in their use. Finally, let's explore some related concepts. One important concept is secondary reinforcers, which derive their value from associations with primary reinforcers. For example, money is a secondary reinforcer because it can be exchanged for food or shelter, making it valuable even though it does not satisfy a biological need directly. Another related idea is positive reinforcement, where the introduction of a primary reinforcer increases the likelihood of a behaviour being repeated. Additionally, the concept of operant conditioning, developed by psychologists, revolves around how behaviours are strengthened or weakened through these types of reinforcers, emphasising their role in learning and behaviour modification.